The annual Davidson family business meeting always felt more like a medieval court, with my father playing king and my sister Amanda as his chosen heir. The mahogany conference table at Davidson Enterprises headquarters had witnessed 20 years of these gatherings, but this one would be different. And now, my father's voice carried that special tone of disappointment he reserved just for me. Let's address the other matters. Emily, how's your secretarial work going? I suppressed a smile, thinking about the documents being delivered to the building at this very moment. Still at my desk, Dad. Still typing away. Amanda snickered, adjusting her Hermès scarf. At least she's consistent. 5 years at that consulting firm and still answering phones. If they only knew that my consulting firm was actually a shell company through which I'd orchestrated the gradual acquisition of Davidson Enterprises over the past 3 years. While they'd been mocking my desk job, I'd been quietly buying shares, placing allies on the board and preparing for this exact moment. Really, Emily, my mother sighed, her diamonds catching the morning light. We offered you a proper position here. Junior VP of Operations, fast track to executive leadership. Instead you chose to be, what exactly do you do all day? I manage things, Mom, I said quietly, checking my phone under the table. A message from my CFO flashed. Documents en route. Legal team standing by. Managing coffee runs? Amanda smirked. Or is it spreadsheets now? So ambitious. Dad shuffled his papers, not even bothering to look up. Well, at least you're employed. Though I must say, Emily, your choice to reject our offer still baffles me. Davidson Enterprises is a billion-dollar company. We're leaders in industrial manufacturing. And you chose to be a secretary. I thought about the offshore accounts, shell corporations and strategic investments I'd managed while they assumed I was filing papers. The billion-dollar company they were so proud of had been hemorrhaging market share for years, vulnerable to exactly the kind of calculated takeover I'd engineered. Speaking of the company, Amanda straightened importantly, I've been working on some exciting new initiatives. As Executive VP, I believe it's time we... A knock at the door interrupted her. My father frowned. No one dared interrupt the annual family meeting. Come in, he barked. His assistant entered, looking nervous. Mr. Davidson, I'm sorry to interrupt, but these just arrived by courier. Marked urgent and confidential. She placed a thick envelope on the table. I recognized my law firm's letterhead. What's this? Dad muttered, reaching for his reading glasses. Some kind of legal notice? Perhaps you should read it carefully, I suggested mildly. It pertains to ownership structure changes. Amanda rolled her eyes. Honestly, Emily, what would you know about ownership structures? You're a secretary. Actually, I smiled slightly, I know quite a bit about them. Especially when it comes to Davidson Enterprises. My father had gone very still, his face paling as he read the documents. This must be a mistake. What is it, Robert? My mother asked, reaching for the papers. According to this, his voice shook. Majority ownership of Davidson Enterprises has been transferred to Phoenix Global Holdings. Amanda grabbed the documents. That's impossible. We own this company. We control all the shares. Not anymore, I said quietly, straightening in my chair. Phoenix Global has been acquiring shares through various subsidiaries for the past 3 years. As of this morning, we own 80% of Davidson Enterprises. But Phoenix Global is that mysterious investment firm that's been revolutionizing old industries, Amanda protested. Their CEO is some reclusive genius who never appears in public. Until now, I replied, standing up. Though you might know me better as your secretary's sister. Amanda's designer purse slipped from her lap, hitting the floor with a thud that echoed through the suddenly silent room. Sometimes the best position from which to take control isn't in the executive suite. It's behind a desk where no one thinks to look. The conference room had frozen in a tableau of shock. My father's reading glasses dangled from nerveless fingers, my mother's perfectly manicured hand clutched her signature pearls, and Amanda's face had lost all its carefully applied color. This is a joke, Amanda finally managed. It has to be. You're a secretary. You make coffee runs. You run a global investment firm that specializes in acquiring and modernizing traditional industries? I finished for her, pulling up Phoenix Global's portfolio on the room's presentation screen. Actually, Davidson Enterprises is one of our smaller acquisitions. The screen filled with company names, properties, and assets, billions in holdings across multiple industries. My father's eyes widened as he recognized several of his biggest competitors among them. While you were busy mocking my desk job, I continued calmly, I was building this. Every coffee run you laughed about was actually a meeting with investors. Those spreadsheets you dismissed? Acquisition strategies. My phone buzzed, a message from my executive team. Press release ready. Stock market notified. Trading halt in place for the announcement. But I'm executive VP, Amanda stammered. I'm next in line too. Not anymore, I cut her off. Phoenix Global doesn't believe in hereditary leadership. All executive positions will be reviewed for actual merit, not family connections. My father finally found his voice. You've been planning this? All these years when we thought you were just what, Dad? Just wasting my potential? Just embarrassing the family name? Just being a secretary? I pulled up more financial data. Look at Davidson Enterprises' performance under your leadership. Declining market share, outdated technology, falling profits. The only thing keeping your stock price up was our strategic buying. My mother reached for the ownership documents with trembling hands. Phoenix Global. All those news stories about their mysterious Sue. That was you? His mom. All those society events where you apologized for my modest career? I probably owned the buildings they were held in. Amanda was frantically scrolling through her phone, her face growing paler as she found article after article about Phoenix Global's success. Forbes. Wall Street Journal. Financial Times. How did we not know? Because you never asked, I said simply. You were too busy assuming you knew my worth to actually discover it. The boardroom doors opened again, admitting my real executive team. Sarah, my COO, stepped forward with more documents. Ms. Davidson, she said formally, the press is gathering downstairs. Would you like to make the announcement, or should we proceed with the prepared statement? Amanda's head snapped up. Ms. Davidson? They report to you. Everyone reports to me now, I confirmed. Including you, assuming you keep your position after our performance review. My father stood up suddenly, his business instincts finally kicking in. Now see here, young lady. You can't just walk in and take over. We built this company. Actually, grandfather built it, I corrected him. You inherited it and nearly ran it into the ground. Check the quarterly reports you never bothered to read carefully. Without our investment, you'd be facing bankruptcy within 18 months. The stock ticker on the wall had frozen, waiting for the ownership announcement. My father's eyes kept darting to it, watching his legacy hang in digital limbo. The press release goes live in 5 minutes, Sarah announced. Trading will resume afterward. Our analysts predict a significant jump in share price once the market learns about Phoenix's involvement. Of course it will jump, Amanda said bitterly. Everyone knows Phoenix Global turns companies around. We just didn't know it was you. I smiled slightly. Amazing what one can accomplish from behind a desk, isn't it? The corporate headquarters lobby had filled with reporters, their cameras aimed at the entrance as word of the acquisition spread. Through the boardroom's glass walls, we could see employees gathering, whispering, wondering what the announcement would mean for their futures. Your severance package is generous, I told my father, sliding another document across the table. Though given the company's performance under your leadership, it's more than you deserve. Severance, he choked. You're firing me? Retiring you, I corrected. Immediately. The shareholders deserve better than nepotism and outdated management styles. Amanda jumped up, her designer heels clicking on the marble floor. You can't do this. I've spent my whole life preparing to run this company. No, I said quietly. You spent your whole life expecting to run it. There's a difference. When was the last time you actually reviewed our manufacturing processes? Met with line workers? Understood our technology gaps? She fell silent and I continued. While you were planning your corner office decoration, I was learning every aspect of this business. From the ground up. Like a secretary would. My mother, ever the social survivor, tried a different approach. Darling, surely we can discuss this as a family? Perhaps over dinner? The country club is serving. I own the country club, I interrupted. Bought it last year when membership was declining. Amazing how many business deals happen on golf courses. The blood drained from her face as she realized just how complete my takeover was. Not just of their company but of their entire social world. My phone buzzed again. Stock market responding to announcement. Davidson Enterprises up 45% on Phoenix acquisition news. Your shares are worth more now, I noted, watching the ticker resume. You should thank me. I've just saved your retirement funds. Amanda was still staring at her phone, reading headlines about Phoenix Global's latest conquest. All those board meetings, she muttered. Those strategic planning sessions, you knew everything we were doing. While you never bothered to learn what I was doing, I confirmed. Too busy making coffee jokes to notice I was buying your company one share at a time. Sarah stepped forward again. Ms. Davidson, the press is waiting. And the Tokyo market opens in an hour. Of course, I stood, straightening my jacket. Time to introduce Davidson Enterprises' new leadership to the world. Wait, my father called out desperately. What about the family legacy? Your grandfather built this. And I'm saving it, I cut him off. From your mismanagement and Amanda's inexperience. The Davidson name will continue, but under competent leadership. The screens around us filled with breaking news. Phoenix Global acquires Davidson Enterprises. Mystery CEO revealed as founder's granddaughter. Wall Street stunned by family power shift. Emily, my mother tried one last time, we only wanted what was best for you. All those times we suggested different career paths. You mean all those times you told me I was wasting my potential? When you mocked my job, dismissed my choices and treated me like a failure. I checked my watch. Those suggestions have aged about as well as Dad's management style. The press was getting restless downstairs. Through the windows we could see camera flashes intensifying. One last thing, I said, pausing at the door. Amanda, you might want to update your resume. Phoenix Global has very high standards for its executives. Being someone's daughter isn't enough. But I'm qualified, she protested. I have an MBA. So do thousands of others. What they don't have is your record of arrogance and nepotism. Clean out your office by tomorrow. My father slumped in his chair, decades of authority draining away. All this time, while we thought you were just answering phones. I was answering something else, I replied. The question of whether success comes from titles or talent. I think we have our answer. The elevator opened onto the lobby where reporters surged forward. Miss Davidson, is it true you acquired your family's company while working as their secretary? Was this revenge? A hostile takeover? I stepped up to the microphones, thinking of all the family meetings where I'd been dismissed, all the potential I'd been told I was wasting. This isn't about revenge, I answered clearly. It's about competence replacing complacency. Merit overtaking nepotism. And yes, I smiled slightly, it's about a secretary showing exactly what she can do from behind a desk. Upstairs, through the glass walls, I could see my family still frozen in the boardroom, their world transformed by the daughter they'd underestimated. They had mocked my job at a family meeting. I had taken their jobs at a shareholders' meeting. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with quarterly reports and ownership documents. They had called me just a secretary. I had become their boss instead. And as the cameras flashed and the stock price soared, I couldn't help but think. Sometimes the most powerful position isn't in the corner office. Sometimes it's behind the desk where no one thinks to look. Until it's too late. Through the boardroom's glass walls, we could see the media circus gathering in the lobby below. Reporters jostled for position, their cameras aimed at the entrance as word of the acquisition spread like wildfire through the financial district. Your retirement package is quite generous, I said, sliding another document across the mahogany table to my father. Given the company's performance under your leadership, you might consider it a parting gift. Retirement. The word seemed to age him instantly. You're forcing me out? Giving you a graceful exit, I corrected. The press release will cite strategic restructuring and generational transition. Unless you'd prefer I detail the company's decline under your management. Amanda leaped up, her Louboutins clicking sharply on the marble floor. This is ridiculous. I've spent my entire life preparing to run this company. I have an MBA from Harvard. No, I replied calmly. You spent your life expecting to run it. There's a difference. When was the last time you visited our factory floor? Spoke to our line workers? Actually understood our production processes? Her silence was deafening. That's what I thought, I continued, pulling up more data on the screens. While you were planning your corner office decor, I was learning every aspect of this business. Like a secretary would. My mother, ever the social strategist, tried a different approach. Darling, surely we can discuss this as a family? Over dinner perhaps? The Madison Club is serving. I own the Madison Club, I interrupted. Acquired it last year when membership was declining. Fascinating how many business deals happen over golf and cocktails. The blood drained from her face as she realized just how complete my takeover was. Not just their company but their entire social world. My phone buzzed with updates. Stock market responding to announcement. Davidson Enterprises up 60% on Phoenix acquisition news. Your personal shares are worth significantly more now, I noted, watching the ticker climb. You should thank me. I've just salvaged your retirement funds. Sarah, my COO, stepped forward with more documents. Ms. Davidson, the international markets open in an hour. Tokyo is particularly interested in your statement. Of course, I nodded. Time to introduce Davidson Enterprises' new direction to the world. Wait, my father called out desperately. What about our family legacy? Your grandfather built this. And I'm saving it, I cut him off. From your mismanagement and Amanda's inexperience. The Davidson name will continue, but under competent leadership. The screens around us filled with breaking news. Phoenix Global acquires Davidson Enterprises. Secretary revealed as billion-dollar CEO. Wall Street stunned by family power shift. Amanda was frantically scrolling through her phone, her perfectly manicured fingers trembling. This can't be happening. I'm Executive VP. I have connections, experience. You have a title granted by nepotism, I corrected her. Speaking of which, you'll want to clear out your office by tomorrow. Phoenix Global has strict policies about merit-based leadership. You can't fire me, she protested. I'm family. Exactly why you need to go. This company will be run on competence, not DNA. My father had aged years in minutes, his authority draining away with each passing second. All this time, while we thought you were just answering phones.